Do I start? Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I Dhatri Parmar, and today's my topic of presentation is Paradise Lost: The Dual Perspective of Humanity and Divinity. So, what is the time period of returning the paradise lost? So the Renaissance and Reformation in Europe marked a shift from a god-centric to a human-centered worldview. This transformation has a significant implication, particularly in the realm of literature. And while we are looking at the adaptation of the myth which were retolling during that time, these changes impact how biblical narratives such as Genesis from the Holy Bible and Book 9 from John Milton's Paradise Lost were reimagined and retold. So let us see that how Genesis is talking about God-centric perspective. So Genesis portrays the fall primarily from God's perspective. So basically, the thing was that the forbidden tree was there and forbidden fruit, which was eaten by the Eve. And then after the fall of man happened in the paradise lost, and even in the biblical narrative too. And the all reflection, all the narrative are from the God centric. Adam and Eve's character come across as one dimensional and manipulated. So basically, the characters, two of the characters are too much flat that they don't have emotion and they just obey the god from the perspective of the god. And Satan uses the serpent to tempt Eve and leading to their disobedience. So basically, serpent is Satan is taking a disguise of serpent and tempting Eve, and the fall of the man is happening. So according to according to David Gosick, some believes that Genesis only records creation myth meant only to show the greatness of God in poetic grandeur. So how the God is centered throughout the Genesis book. uh, we can challenge this perspective of God, how that question the God's justice. What happened that after that the God just give punishment to three of the character. First, he gave the punishment to the first. Let us look at the Satan. So why punish the serpent instead of Satan? It's user. So Satan take a disguise of serpent. So God is giving punishment to this Satan in the disguise of serpent, and he is saying that I quote, "I will put enmity between your seed and her seed." So he is giving punishment to the serpent. Second, Eve's punishment. Pain in childbirth and submission to her husband, in which God also punished Eve. I quote, "I will greatly multiply your pain in childbirth. In pain you shall bring forth children. Yet your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you." So you can find that how terribly he punished Eve with childbirth and with the ruling over of her husband. And while on the Adam's side, we can find that he just got the hard work for doing hard work on the earth. So, unanswered question on fairness in Genesis are that first, that Adam's judgment may appear lenient, that Adam is giving very much lower kind of a punishment. Genesis maintained the divine viewpoint, offering minimal insight to the experience of its human character, such as Adam, Eve, and serpent. And the Bible simply straightforwardly declares that world did not create itself or come out by chance. It was created by God, and that's what even David Guzik also stating in her article. Now let us take a look at Eve's human motivation in Paradise Lost. So John Milton wrote this book while restoration period. At that time Puritan movement is going on, and that is why John Milton himself was a purely Puritan, and he's believing in liberty, and that is why he's giving voices to all the three characters. Similarly, in Eve's act of disobey eating fruit causing fall, she desires knowledge, equality with Adam, and freedom. Whether Eve is still good person when she is tempted, like Milton says, depends on whether she decide to be stubborn or bad like Satan, or kind potentially good like Son. So here we clearly find that Eve has choice to make. So choices are connected with human beings, and that's what even Macaulay is stating in her article, that Eve has a choices. Eve has free will to choose to go alone in the gardening and saying Adam that I am going alone in the gardening. Similarly, seeking superiority over Adam with notable intention, which was finding while she was going alone in gardening, and desire to exercise God's given free will. So Milton himself says that. God gives free will to the character of every man's character, and that is why Eve is exercising that will. Adam's decision driven by love. So Adam's choice, love unites Eve with another Eve. So this quote is expressing their love. I quote: "Should God create another Eve and I another reed afford? Yet loss of thee would never from my heart." So this is reflecting that he has a emotion of love, which was purely human emotion. So this perspective of the human in Macaulay is also telling that in announcing the fall to assembled angel in book 10, God reaffirms that man fell by choice. So choice is connected with human, and that is what Adam and Eve is making. And Adam and Eve show evolving responsibility with free will choices. Taking a look at the third character, Saturn's human emotion and perspective. So, in views of recovering resentment, a reflection on disgust, empathy, and Milton's Saturn, Bard Bogland is saying that Satan seeks revenge for heavenly wrongs stuck in past bitterness. So God is giving him punishment that you have to go into the earth and taking you have to be like a serpent and you have to just float in on your tummy and you have to eat dust. So all this severe punishment is connected with human emotions which Satan has. And Satan's and his angel become the mirror Milton plays in front of himself and his readers. In this context, the Satan of Paradise Lost is representative of the human condition as he embodies the same weakness and desire of readers. So, Satan is tempting Eve, and Satan is having emotions like envy, rage, and similar kind of a jealousy. All these emotions are quite connected with human emotion. And while we are looking at the Satan's character, and while the reading of the Paradise Lost is happening at that time, Satan is nowadays taking as a hero of the Paradise Lost. So while we are reading Paradise Lost in the present time, that we feel that sympathy with the character of Satan. So these three characters, how Milton giving them a human perspective and human emotion, which is not available in Genesis. Paradise lost intricacy, intervened humanity and divinity, immortalizing the fall from grace and challenging rigid religious boundary, which was there earlier in Genesis. The human perspective is the not only of the perspective of literature, it is the only perspective of the literature. So human should be in the center. That's what the literature wants in the time. And Milton's writing encourage us to question the usual ways of thinking, making human the main character in the tales. While we are looking at the context of India, that we have a Valmiki Ramayana and such things. And nowadays, current contemporary writers such as Amish Tripathi writing Sita, the warrior of Mithila. So giving the character voice and giving the aspect of a human centric aspect, which is happening of the myth in present time too. So while we are looking comparing the taking the reference of myth and then retailing of that, so at that time literature every time stands with human being. That's what it concludes. Here are the references, and thank you. If you have any question, feel free to ask.
So, Tatri, my question is, how does the portrayal of Adam and Eve in Genesis reflect their one-dimensional and manipulated characters?
Okay, so in the Genesis, we can find that Eve and Adam are already aware by the Raphael that something is going to happen, so be aware of that. Still, they are going that, and while God giving them punishment, they are clearly taking that as obedience, and they are obeying them. While on the other hand, we cannot find that in retailing. So in that time, we can find that they have only one dimension. That they are not reacting again what is saying what. They are simply obeying the God because they are thinking that he is our creator, and he can do anything. So while this, they are just accepting whatever God is saying, whatever even punishment they are accepting. So this is how that Adam and Eve are are connected with one dimensional or manipulated character. Okay.
So, Dhatri, can you explain which perspective do you think we should follow in your opinion?
Of course, we are on the side of Milton because literature always stands for human beings, and even the human is always center of the world. So we can find that while we are talking about the same perspective of God-centric perspective or human-centric, we are always standing on the perspective of human, because at the end, humans are the center of the earth. So at that time we can find that this perspective of a human perspective is more reliable. Okay, thank you.